Imagine a league built by the people, for the people. A league dedicated to the economic development of your city. So the question becomes, how good are the 32 teams that play in the minor football league? Well, there's only one way to find out. You have to experience the MFL.
Welcome to another edition of Inside the MFL. I'm your host, Dr. Richard D. Myles Sr., CEO, Chairman, and founder of the Minor Football League. I'm very kind of down today, but it's a blessed day as usual. Make sure everybody keep your face masks on. This ain't no time to get, act like things are over with, because it's not. I'll say we're getting ready for our 2021 Combine. We're excited about that. Also, I wouldn't say special guests. I got our people on there. I got Lisa. I got, Lisa here, but we're ready for our 2021 Combine. And I got Keith Jones on here. That Combine is coming up, ladies and gentlemen. We're excited about it because everybody asking about the Combine. Now the Combine is here. Now I want to see what everybody getting excited for it. Of course, we have 3 divisions and we're going to do it in 3 places: Texas, Florida, and up here in the Mid-Atlantic. Of course, we have the worst weather, as you know, Lisa and Keith. The day we had one of our general managers on, I'm excited about him because Tennessee Patriots get ready to go. They near and dear to my heart, as y'all know. I don't like to say that too much because, all the rest of the GM look at me and but we have him with us today. Let's go with Lisa. How you doing today, Lisa?
Hey, good afternoon. How is everyone? I'm doing great. How's everybody doing?
Oh, we doing fine. Fine, Lisa, fine. I know everybody taking precaution with these face masks. A good thing we're at home. We can be safe when we do this. Also, we have Keith. He's one of the top reporters up here in the DMV areas. How you doing today, sir?
Good. Thanks, Doc. I appreciate that compliment. And not too bad, although I have to say Texas got more snow than we did in the nation's capital. But, it happens. So you got to watch out. I mean, it's more than COVID these days you got to watch out for. But it's exciting to see what the league has in store for everyone. And with the combines getting close, less than a month away, it's certainly ramping up to be something special.
Absolutely. And, it's funny that they had that snow there. I couldn't believe that, Lisa. But they wanted us to know down in Texas that, hey, if they say it's 79 degrees here, Doc, they start bragging again. So I think that snow just scared them after they got over the initial shock of it. I think they went on to continue with what they usually do in Texas.
Yeah, I think they're kind of bouncing back. Unfortunately, there were a lot of people who, were displaced from their homes because they were not ready for that kind of weather like we are up north, So I just, my heart goes out, prayers to those families who are still struggling. Everyone should reach out and try to contribute however they can to try to help people in need. Let's not forget everyone. And we have to still practice the mask wearing and staying safe out there.
Absolutely. And, we up here, we used to it. We've been bracing for it, Keith, but nothing ever came.
It's always snowmageddon in the Mid-Atlantic. It really is. And that's why I really don't like to watch the local news, because the weathercasters, it's one of the greatest professions ever, where you can get paid a lot of money to be wrong 80% of the time and blame it on computers and still keep your job. So fantastic, those people that are in that profession. So
I think it's the greatest job around that scared the jeebie creebies out of people, tell them, and everybody run out to the store and buy the salt, buy the water, I think it's a real good, when it comes to corporate America, strategy in terms of them getting people to get out and buy stuff they really don't need, But let's get into it, while I'm waiting for our general manager to come on. Lisa, we ready for the dance team? You ready to travel? We got to go out now. I mean, it is what it is. We're going to be careful and everything, but the countdown is on, Lisa, and I know you got the dance team together. Tell MFL Nation, what's going on with that.
Oh, yeah. So the first of 3 combines is happening on March 27th for the 3 divisions of the MFL League. And so we are kicking off our dance team auditions on the 27th, and we will be going to Texas. So we will be holding our first round of auditions in Southwest Texas on the 27th. It's the same day of the combine, so it's going to be a great time. A lot of energy. We are looking forward to having everyone come out and audition. Ladies, you need to get registered. Auditions are by appointment only. We're trying to be, mindful of COVID, so we're still practicing safety measures and guidelines. So we are trying to be respectful of everyone's time and also keeping in mind and keeping them safe. So everyone needs to register in advance, and they can do that by going on to www.mflishere.com, or they can reach out to me at livfit, the letter K, at gmail.com, and we can get you all registered and give you any information you need.
Of course, and that's a beautiful stadium up there, Lisa, you're going to up there. It's really nice. Lisa will be our Keith Recon. She going
Globe Life Field. Globe Life Field.
Absolutely. Now, Keith, just get what you now. What you say? It's time to show up and show out. Now we've been doing all the things that we need to do in terms of getting ready for this season, and now we at that point. Now we got the 3 combine coming up. I mean, from a media perspective, give us some thought on that, Keith.
Well, I think the combine helps legitimize the mission, if you will, and it looks like it's been really, really interesting to see the overwhelming interest in trying out for the MFL. So you have that going on, which certainly with the further legitimization of the league helps. And then when you get into the season, set to kick off the first part of June, it's really got people interested. Thank goodness that the NFL played, because I was actually just talking with a couple of people in different situations earlier this week about that, and because the NBA still struggles with the COVID and college, the tournament, the conference tournaments are upon us with college basketball, and then the big tournament. But everything as far as the NCAA is concerned is going to be played in one state at different arenas, but in Indiana. So that'll be interesting. But they are going to supposedly have it this year. But the NFL is the only mainstay that really got through, got their games in, got the Super Bowl, which was fantastic to see. And so people are still, I think, in a football mindset. And when you have a kind of a lesser known, unknown to some people facet like the MFL, it kind of piques interest, and then you say, oh, you're having a combine not one place but 3 different locations, and then the season's going to kick off a couple months after that. That really does get people interested who are looking for still a football outlet.
Yes, and also I was just thinking Keith got it pretty good, as you know, Lisa, because Keith is covering the one up here in the Mid-Atlantic, so he don't have to go cross country yet. You know what I mean? Because so that's something, Keith. I know you wasn't really looking forward to traveling nowhere, Keith. So
I love. I get Doc. I love the travel, and certainly if it's on assignment and things like that. I've been fortunate to be not only across the country but across the world and for different things. And I love the travel. So I take that out of there. But I'm also a cautionary traveler. So I've got my first official flight booked, and then say I get on the plane yet, coming up in the first part of April. But that's pretty far away, and we'll see what has happened there. I've actually been trying to be a good citizen, a good American, if you will, and gone out and helped. I was just at an elderly facility today, helping with the vaccines and information and stuff. So I feel kind of blessed that way to be able to go out and help, especially the elderly who really, really need it on a number of levels. But to work with some fantastic professionals. When I did it a couple of weeks ago, I worked with a pharmacist who gave the vaccines, and today I worked with an ENT who was, well, he told me he was on overtime, which obviously he was getting paid to sit there, but a guy who was very dedicated to the whole process. And that was really interesting to talk with him in between patients, and then also watch how he interacted with those patients. So just like everything else moving forward, including the MFL, it's just that you're on a mission. So that's what that's about. But I am looking forward to getting back to some travel. I can do a lot of things that I do with just local travel, covering professional teams and leagues and things like that. So I'm fortunate that way. But I do like to travel, Doc. So we'll just put that on the mat and let people know.
Well, yeah. Well, we know you like that. I had to just poke at you a little bit.
I know.
I'm excited because the divisions that because of the we have to be very mindful of the COVID-19, and so that's why sitting with the board, we decide that each division will have a combine. That way, all the teams in that division, well, you don't get guys going all the way across the country. At least they within the division will do the combines. It's a little moving around for us, but then again, I think it only makes sense that way for them guys that come in there. Just like Texas, as you know, it's 3 franchises out there, and then you're talking about Oklahoma and as well as Louisiana. So they all right there. So when they come in, they are just whatever part of the state they come from. They will that's who the coaches, the GMs and coach be there to sign those particular players. But as you know, a combine it consists of the same thing, the T, the L drill, and then you want to look at the technique. I always say, if you ever had it, you'll never lose it. It's the people that never had it trying to get it, Then we get a chance to look at some receivers, you get a chance to look at backs and quarterbacks. So you get a chance to look at these guys, and not to the extent where these guys is just throwing the ball all over the place, but more what we're really looking for mostly is technique and what these guys had, because they'll get a chance when they go into camp. The main thing here, what we're doing in these combines, we here to look at these players, to evaluate a talent, and then as we see them, and the great thing about it, and I talk to guys all the time, this is not a cattle call. We're going to sign guys that day, for all those divisions all of those franchises that's in that conference. So it's not where guys come there and they found out that, wow, man, I came there for nothing, No, it's not there. We're going to sign guys. We're going to sign 60 players per roster. That's a lot of people, Keith, you know what I mean? That's a lot of people getting the opportunity that they generally wouldn't have with the MFL. So, I was telling guys that, hey, this is not a collar call. They're so excited about it. We get calls and they say, well, okay. And also the guys we had a lot of guys register. Now it's time now you can pay your registration fee now, because for 3 or 4 months, we don't say where you pay it, Dr. Myles. And we say we're not taking any money right now, no registration, till we know that by the help of the Lord, this thing is safe for not only the players, but Lisa, you, and all of us. We want to make sure, and the players as well. Sometimes they think football and not think about what's really, around them. So we have to remind them that when we feel that it's safe, then we'll do it. Now, from listening to Fauci talk and the way the vaccine being rolled out, we can see a lot of light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean? Now it's not like we in the dark. We just walking around out there lost. We know that it's light down there. So now, and then we have all these different things in place because Lisa, thanks Lisa and Dr. Freeman, we did put protocol in place for this, where the guys have to get tested before they come. You know what I mean? And then we will do the rest of testing their temperature when they come also. So it's very important that they understand what we're doing, because we want them to be as safe as possible, as well as our staff as well. So we tell them, you know, you make sure you take a copy of that. So we want to see the proof when you come that you are taking this. So these are things that we want everybody to know we do have in place. We're not just jumping out there and doing this. You know, we've done our research and you know, we did our feasibility study and what we're doing so everything can go smoothly and safe for all parties involved. So that's some of the things that I'm excited about. But also, Keith, this up here in this area here in the Mid-Atlantic, it's kind of close in proximity, which we enjoy about this. But it's not just the DMV, because you know, we're going to get guys from Hagerstown. We're going to get guys from West Virginia. You know, you're going to get guys from all over to come to these combines. And we're really excited about it. But also we want them to understand that the MFL is the laboratory of change. And we want people to understand that this is an opportunity for you now. You know, we don't want people to say, well, I'll just wait until after I see what happened in the NFL draft. If I was you, don't wait for that. You're going to be sad and mistaken, because we don't want people to run oh yeah, you might be a better player and everything. As you know, Lisa, the girls could be better. But if you don't come when we have the tryouts, then, you know, we see you next year. Because what we're not going to be doing is bringing guys in, people in during the season. That would not be fair to the people that came to the combines and stuff. So we want to make that very clear to everybody. And I think that you would appreciate that. And I know because, you know, they do that on other levels. You know, they bring a guy in, but they can do it. But right now, we want to be fair to the people that coming out there. And I'm really excited, because I know we're going to get a tremendous turnout. You know what I mean? But the great thing about it, guys will be signed. And I know with Lisa, I know that was our big concern with the traveling for these ladies, because that's something we did not want them to do too much. But doing it in the divisions is kind of good. When you say, Lisa?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great idea, especially where we're starting, and I'm going to be traveling to in Texas. Because there are 3 teams, it makes the most sense to hold one large audition in one facility. And everyone should understand and remember that they're only going to that location for that one day. It does not mean they will be traveling there all the time. They will be with their prospective team once they are assigned to their teams. So they don't have to think that they'll be traveling. It's just a one-day event. And we came up with this because, as you mentioned, Dr. Myles, you know, we felt that it was the best way to be able to control and stay safe for everyone with the COVID-19, taking the temperature checks, having all the GMs available and there to help out, I think is a great thing. Everyone will get seen as long as they register. They need to make sure they register ahead of time, because like you mentioned, I think we're going to have a big turnout, and we are looking forward to seeing everyone at the combines and at the dance auditions. And, you know, we're going to have a lot of talented people coming out. So we're ready. We are so excited. I can't wait to see everyone and meet the GMs that we've been working with, you know, so closely with over Zoom and phone calls and all. So it'd be nice to meet them in person, and I'm looking forward to that. And Keith, I will probably be wearing like a hazmat suit through the airport, on the plane, like this, you know.
Don't move. Don't move.
I won't move.
I understand totally. But you just brought up a really good point. Besides the hat match suit, yeah, I can credit that. Your point was you expect to see a lot of talent, and I think from Myles's combine situation, that's what he's expecting as well. Not to speak for him, well, he's right there, but I'll let him speak. But I think there's a lot of talent, and even in the DMV, which is what it's called now, but in the Mid-Atlantic, just specifically, which doesn't get its due credit is from the high school level on up. There is a lot of talent, and as Doc knows, playing at the levels he's played at, it's a numbers game. There's just never enough slots on a high school team or a college team or a pro team, and so there's talent that gets wasted or misspent or what have you along the way, and it's going to be really, really good for the league to be able to have that opportunity. Lisa, from your standpoint, I mean, the hometown NFL team no longer has cheerleaders, and they don't have a dance team, and they probably won't. So, I mean, I've worked with some of those ladies over the years, and know what they go through and the time they put in, and even though they have a full-time job usually, or maybe they're full-time at school, it's a lot of work, and it has to be if you're going to perform at your top level, you have to put the time in, and whether it's cheering or dancing or dancing on a football field as a player, you still got to put the time in. So you're expecting that there will be a lot of talent that will surprise a lot of people. Probably not you two specifically, because I know you have a really good finger on the pulse of the way things have laid out here, and you've been very strategic and taken a very nonsensical, common sense approach to the whole league and the combines and everything else. Because Lisa, these are your teams as well. So you got 32 football teams under the leadership of Dr. Richard D. Myles Sr., but you've got 32 dance teams under your leadership, Lisa. So it's a big deal. You're the commissioner of the dance teams, pretty much.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't think of it that way. When you're in this mode, I'm just thinking dance, choreography, ladies, taking care of the girls and making sure everyone gets their due time and everyone gets equal opportunity here. That's the thing, and that's what I'm really excited about, because the same thing as players, dancers, when you go to an audition, sometimes they're only looking for one person, and it's very, very specific. And you can be the best dancer, but you don't fit the suit or the costume, so you don't get cast. And we are looking for 30 girls for 16 teams, 60 guys for 16 teams. And I say, do the math. That's a lot of opportunity out there. That's opportunity that, dancers haven't been able to perform the past year. Players really haven't been able to play much. So we need to get back to doing and honing in on their skills. You need to actually keep that in motion in order to stay competitive. You need to practice and perform, not just the dress rehearsal all over and over again. It's time to put it to work. So here's an opportunity, and everyone should be jumping on top of that.
Absolutely. And then I'm excited because the players, we got a lot of players, they call left and right. Quarterback down in North Carolina, and he was saying that he could not believe what he was reading. Keith, he said, well, wait a minute. So he calls some of his other guys, friends of his, and they went to it, and they say, well, wow. So they called, we always try to call people back. I finally got our GM on. He finally got it together. So we go bring him on in a second. But he was saying that, and I said, Minor Football League, he said, Dr. Myles, I said, how you know me? I could tell by your voice. He says, your voice. I watched the show and your voice, And he was saying that the fact they are so excited, a lot of guys that, coming out of school, out of college, and guys that didn't play, came out of college year before and didn't play, and they had this opportunity, and they're so excited about it, Keith. And he said, and I'm just so excited by everything I read. And, sometimes when you read stuff, it's hard to comprehend because you said, wait a minute, is this real? So he said him and his wife went to it. You know, he said, and then it was looking at the stores. And he said, I ordered me some stuff right now, Dr. Myles, and my wife, she want to order too much stuff. And we're really generally excited about this. And I said, well, you know, and he was talking about the combine. I said, well, y'all will have one down there. Well, he said, well, we don't have a problem with traveling. We'll come. Whatever combine is, we are coming. You know, so I said, y'all be at the one in Florida. But they were so excited that they, like you said, we willing to come up there to the Mid-Atlantic one. Doesn't matter to us. We're in North Carolina. That's how excited these guys is, Keith. And I mean, what do you think that before I bring our GM on, what do you? I mean, that excitement just says a lot, Keith.
Right,
young
right.
guy.
Exactly. You know, and it's infectious too. And you had a very interesting prospective player on a number of shows ago, and you could see his excitement to be able to get back into the game. But you know, he's got buddies that play, and they've played organizationally since he got out of school. And there's a lot of that going on. And I know from the dance team standpoint for Lisa, I mean, the ladies are going to talk to her. Hey, I'm going to do this tryout, or you know, I know somebody who would love to do this. And football, the playing wise, is no different. And that's, you know, it's kind of the self-recruiting word of mouth situation, because again, as you have the laboratory change, so you're giving opportunity for people. But the MFL this year, especially in 2021, is an enlightenment for a lot of people. They just either haven't heard of it before, or are just coming to know it, or learning more about it. And it meant, and Dave Hamlin is probably no different from that standpoint. You get quality people. I mean, I'm never amazed personally, but it's always great to see the quality of people, Myles, that you're able to tap into, or see the light, or the light bulb goes on, or whatever it is from that standpoint. So there's a lot of excitement, and player wise, I'm expecting a lot, and especially since you're a guy who not only builds things but builds things up. So you know, I don't expect the combine to be a bust on any level, and I want to see the excitement in action. So
absolutely. And Mr. Hamilton, this is the Tennessee Patriots GM. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Okay. Before that's Lisa right there. Lisa's the director of the dance team. She will be coming there to help you do that. That's something you have to worry about. But we'll let Keith. It's with the media up here and with the MFL. He probably ask some questions. So I'll let Keith ask you these questions, but before you go, I'll just tap in. When you got the call from us, because you know this is something we've been, you know, going back and forth with, and everybody got the interview. I guess you were getting so many calls from people. You say, Doctor, who does this? And everybody said, okay, you wait. And I know you're a good friend of the GM up there in Texas. Mr. Hall. So you had a lot of people speaking very highly of you. What was your, when you, not only when you got the call, when you had the opportunity to look at everything, before I turn you over to Keith, what came to your mind about the league?
At first, when I initially got the call, I was like, okay. But after speaking with Mr. Hall and Dr. Freeman and you, and actually doing some research, and it was amazing. Like, I really got excited, glad to be back in football, you know, and we miss football here in Memphis. There's a lot of people that's getting excited for this opportunity, so we're looking forward to it.
Well, Dave, welcome to the team, so to speak. But I like what he said, Myles, at the beginning. I missed football, and yeah. I think that's part of the theme you'll hear throughout, whether it's the players, coaches, general managers, anybody that's involved with an entity like the MFL. Guys are either looking for another opportunity or didn't know that we're looking for an opportunity. I said, this is fantastic. I can't believe that there's something available for me to be able to continue build my resume, fulfill my dream, whatever the case may be. And there's a lot of guys like that. And before you came on, Dave was talking about, because Lisa's got her work cut out for her, because she's got a bunch of ladies that she's going to try to put together and coordinate and have dance teams. But the guys that have played either collegiately or some professionally that know they have some more to give, these guys talk a lot. I mean, either they're teammates or former teammates, or maybe they played together in college or intramural. I've seen a lot of guys. I mean, we see this more and more often, I think, even at the collegiate level, where there's at least one walk-on on top of football and basketball programs in the NCAA. So these guys were never really, they were just kind of overlooked or didn't think their talent was good enough, but had this thing like, let me go and try out and see what happens. And they end up making those teams, which is a big deal for a walk-on. And it's no different for the MFL, because that's kind of, you've got a bunch of walk-ons, if you will, who think that they have something left and will either show it or they won't. Guys will go home disappointed like they always do, but there'll be a lot of guys that, like Myles says, they'll get signed on those combine days that will make teams and be able to keep their dream alive.
Give us a little bit. I know you know a lot of former players and everything down there. Tell us a little bit about yourself. And I know you've been interviewing coaches and stuff. How is everything coming in terms of the process of what, and things that you're doing down there?
Okay, a little bit about myself. I'm originally from Houston, Mississippi. Been here in the Memphis area for around about 8 years now. Played junior college ball in Mississippi, Itawamba Community College as well. I played at Mississippi Valley State University. Did the little coaching circuit for a while. Coached at Belfort Collegiate in Saskatchewan, Canada, believe it or not, for a couple of years. And made my way back to the States eventually. The whole process is coming along, found a head coach, and we're working on getting position coaches and things of that nature. As far as getting the venue and sponsorship, got good leads on that as well. And just very excited to be here. It wasn't so much about the league when I first got the call. It was the fact that I got the opportunity to become a general manager. Now that was very exciting, and we're very excited here in Memphis, and we're ready for it.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. See, it doesn't have to be the player. It can be coach. It can be general manager. Opportunity that many people get overlooked for in the big league. So it doesn't happen. But now, on your resume, you can say it'll say general manager, and whether you stay with Tennessee or whether you move on in through corporate life or wherever you go, you'll always have that on your resume and that experience, which is something MFL constantly provides for people, no matter what they aspire to do. And that's one of the things that I'm always really enamored with, and it's great to see. Doc calls it the laboratory of change, but it's so much more. I mean, it's really the league of opportunity, because you're able to be a general manager. You or somebody with less experience than you, Dave, getting into a league like the NFL as a general manager, very, very slim. And as the saying goes, slim left town. So there you go. That's kind of what goes on. So that's that, and I think that's probably what continues to drive Myles with this league, because it is ever expanding and it is continuing to evolve. Even 25 plus years later, it's still evolving as an entity.
Absolutely, and we state that all the time. The laboratory of change. We believe in bringing former players from the field to the front office. You guys deserve that opportunity, and what better place to get it than the MFL? And we want to, give guys the opportunity to coaching job. And I know, as you've been talking to your friends, because I know former guys down there played in the league, and when you told them about it, they were like, "Wait a minute!" And then I know you had an opportunity, because one thing about me and Keith and Lisa know, I'm a firm believer in documentation be conversation. You know what I mean? And so when you start talking to them, you start showing them stuff. I mean, what was their reaction? They're like, "What?"
Yeah, everybody was getting excited, and they're really excited, and they enjoyed the website and things of that nature, seeing documentation and there's a lot of people that's getting on board and reaching out to other people as well, and we're getting things rolling here.
Well, you're in a great market. I mean, Memphis. I mean, the Tigers have improved their football program as well, but it's really more of a basketball school. But people in Memphis have been underserved football-wise for many, many decades. They got that other city that starts with an N in the state that gets most of the play, and that kind of situation. They ended up with an NFL team, but Memphis is a program, and I mean program from an MFL standpoint, and a city that really could use this kind of entity coming in, their own identity as a professional football team, and a city that needs to come back and be vibrant like it once was. It's not just all about Beale Street. It's more than blues or whatever going on. The barbecue in Memphis, I mean, it's a really a great city that's just been dusted over, and you just got to kind of kick the dust away and scrape the years of decay and such off. And it's one of these MFL franchises that will allow you to do that, because it involves the community, and Myles is hugely community oriented when it comes to his franchises, and you need to have people believe in the mission and show them that there's opportunity, and Memphis is one of those cities in the U.S. that needs that.
Absolutely, and that's what we say. We always talk about economic development, which that gives you jobs where there are none. You know what I mean? It's just us coming there, what we bring in, and I'll let Lisa expand a little more in a second, but now you're talking about the games. You need people to work them games. You know what I mean? Cars, you got to have the cars, their concession, apparel. Then you talk about affordable entertainment, when you talk about the sale of the tickets, we're not going to leave nobody behind. That's why we're doing, there'll be no tickets sold at the gate. These tickets are going to be sold ahead of time, when the whole family can get out and enjoy themselves, and then the adults have time to do something else. You know what I mean? At least a gentleman, you could do something else. And that's what I'm really excited about as well, Lisa.
Yeah, no, it's so true that the MFL brings so many different opportunities. It goes beyond players, dancers, coaching. It is economic development for communities that really can use that right now. So you have people who are graduating from college and they're not quite in the business or field that they went to college for. This gives them an opportunity to branch out, to get their feet wet, to get experience and get professional experience, either in broadcasting or, assistant coaching. It really allows them to still be able to do what they're doing, but doing what they actually love to do. I mean, think of how many people are working, but it's not their dream job. It's not what they went to college for, but they need to, cover their bills. So this gives them an opportunity. It's like a short span of time. So, it's a great apprenticeship for many people. And I think everyone who is looking, they should reach out to the MFL and find out how they can get involved or how they can put their skills to work, whatever it is,
Absolutely. And I want to shout out to some of the GMs, Mr. Chuck Barlow, GM down there of the Georgia Warriors. You'll be facing, you get a chance to face them. Also, we have a lot of the GMs always check in up there in Texas, but more importantly, gentlemen, we want, and ladies, I didn't want to leave you out there, Lisa. And Lisa has been doing a tremendous job from the beginning. And, I guess we call each other so much, we get on each other's nerves, I guess. Well, she'll get my nerve, but Lisa's doing a great job. So therefore, worried about the dance team, in terms of that, Lisa will come down and put that together. All you have to do is get her a venue to have the Trouts, and Lisa will come down. Also, the great thing about Memphis, now I heard about the barbecue. I'm not sure now, I don't know. but everybody keep talking about barbecue down there. And in Memphis, Tennessee. Also, you know, Fred Smoot from down in Mississippi. And I think you said you had some friends that you went to school with him or something. No, Fred.
Yes, sir. I have some friends that played against him, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Mississippi State is actually about 30 minutes away from my hometown, so I got to see Fred Smoot play a lot coming up.
What we
Yes,
call
sir.
the South, you'll meet him. But he's a great guy and stuff. But you know, all of these different parts of down there will be coming to these combines. You know that they're gonna come. They get the word. Because we do a great job, Lisa, and you know. Our staff in terms of putting stuff on social media, because I say all the time, thank God for social media. Now, you know, you can, you know, look, we're all in different places and it's great. We can talk to each other. You know, before that, excuse me, it was kind of difficult, but, you know, being, having this opportunity to be on this platform and to give people of your caliber an opportunity to be a GM, like you say, you had to laugh a little bit. You said, wait a minute now. Okay, I'm rolling now. Now I'm the GM. Okay, I did coaching. Therefore, you don't want you had took them steps, you know, Keith, to the different levels. And now you where you supposed to be. The only thing else left for you to be an owner. And that's another thing. The MFL, you know, we're the laboratory of change, and we're talking about ownership. You know, that's something that we stress a lot here because we want people to know that is not a reach here. That's something that's attainable with the MFL. So, and I believe in generational wealth, something that's been eluding us for a long time. So, but we still have to understand the significance of the MFL. I can't say that enough, Keith. And although you all that you do in terms of media, you know, I don't want people to downplay the significance of this league being here. And okay, we've been here a long time, but we want them to understand the significance of this, Keith.
It's a huge significance. And I think that's what, again, enamors me or draws me in more than anything else. Yeah, I'm a big football guy. I covered the NFL for about 12 years and in a past life and grew up playing football, played in high school. I didn't play in college. I went on to do some other stuff, but it's with you. And so that part for me is a given. And to see how this has come together, because this is not about football. This is about people. This is about organization. This is about training. This is about opportunity. This is about all those things and more. And that's why I keep getting sucked back in, because it's 25 plus years for Myles with this league, Dave, but he's just scratching the surface. I mean, obviously there are plans to go to Africa and probably Europe eventually and things like that. But you know, this guy's on a mission, and you know, he's that ever-ready bunny that just keeps going and going and going, because his battery pack never winds down, or if it does, he recharges when you're not talking to him or you don't see him, and then he's just right at it again. So but that's what it's about. The MFL is the laboratory change, but it's really the league of opportunity, because again, from your standpoint, personal, Dave, you played and you want to be involved with sport. Being a general manager is a position that and not a lot of guys have thought about, or they thought about, but to get there, it's a whole nother non-opportunity. So for this, that's what you want to be, because you could have been anything, Dave. You could have been a coach. You could have been the head coach. You could be a lot of things in this league, but you chose to be the general manager, which means you want to be the man in charge, which means you're a man who makes things happen. And that's the kind of guy that, or lady as well, that Myles is looking for to keep carrying this torch in the MFL. But that's what it's about to me. And that's why I stay inspired and why I stay interested in what this league is doing, because the MFL does provide opportunities for a lot of people.
And what are some of the venues down there you've been looking at, Dave? I know y'all got a lot
some of the venues.
Yeah.
Been looking at Tiger Stadium. There's a couple of high schools up here that has the ability to hold a large capacity crowd. Looking at Christian Brothers rather. High School. Got a really nice facility, and also down just across the state line, about 15, 20 minutes away, you have like Olive Branch, Mississippi. They have a very nice facility as well. So, yes, sir.
Absolutely. And they definitely the show, you'll get a lot of calls from them because we was going to put a franchise down there, as you know, Keith, but because of people, you have to look at it. Some people, there are leaders and followers in the world. And the only problem is that you have the followers think they're a leader. And that's where you have the confusion there. You're not a leader, you're a follower. And when you get those two mixed up, then that's when trouble come in at. And the person I thought I had would be that we thought we made a good choice. It wasn't, because find your coaching staff. That's not good. That someone, and some of the things she was doing, listening to other people, not going into that. But we definitely would love to have women GMs here. And I make that known all the time. You hear me talk about that all the time, Lisa. We would like, because we want everybody at this table. See, we have a place for everybody at the table. And that's something that we still looking for. Hopefully we'll get it, although we don't have no room for them now. But in the future, I would love to have that, a woman sitting at the table, because I feel like there's no one work as hard as a woman, especially you have women in the corporate sector doing great jobs. As you know, gentlemen, y'all know that. And I just want everybody to know, and I reach all the time, we have a place at the table for women GMs, for women owners, that's why I say to Keith, Lisa, I want people to understand the significance of the NFL and why the NFL is a developmental league. We're not trying to be like the other guys, Keith, and that's a mistake that the other leagues come in trying to do. Yeah, you got money, but you trying to be somebody that you're not. We who we are, they who they are. We're not trying to, we are a developmental league. The MFL is a developmental league, something that's been needed for a long time. And then when you understand that, you get then you'd be better off. We don't lie to players and tell them, we pay you this now. We don't do that. We're a developmental league. We're here to develop you. If you want to go to the next level, to the other league, and the other league, the CFL, okay. But we'll develop you here, because a lot of kids, and Keith, they've been on them Division I school, they sit 4 years. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You were sitting for 4 years. You didn't play. You get the accolades that the rest of them got, but you didn't play. So when you get out there, you get exposed, Keith. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly like that. And I get asked by parents and some prospective players on a regular basis about them choosing a school. Is it better to sit on the bench, be the third or fourth stringer at a program like Alabama, which you could get you a championship ring, or is it better to go play for a smaller program like, I'll use Coastal Carolina, I could use Memphis. Memphis Tigers have had a huge upsurge in that program. So you play for a smaller school. And Memphis, don't get me wrong, Memphis is not a University of Memphis is not a small school. Not like Coastal is much smaller. But look at the success of that football program down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and it's just not astounding, but it's just tremendous to watch that kind of thing. But those guys are going out and they're balling every day. They're players. They're playing. They get their reps. That's what people see. Because these days, and Dave, I don't want to speak to when you played, but I know back when I played ball, you had to put tapes together. There was no like social media. There was no social media. There was no internet. There was no way for coaches to see you unless you physically put together tape and mailed it to them and hope that they watched it. And nowadays, so it's much better to get the reps. That's what I tell the students. But it doesn't matter where you played. Jerry Rice is the prime example. An HBCU guy who played. Right. I mean, you know, yeah, exactly. I knew when I just got that. I'm like, oh, there you go. Right, Mississippi Valley State. Come on, nobody ever before Jerry played there. Nobody ever outside the community heard of Mississippi Valley State University. So, but Jerry changed things that way. But even when he was coming through, he just got seen by accident. The scouts are down there looking at a different guy. Who is this guy? All of a sudden, and he changed the game. He changed the position at the top level of the game in the NFL, which is difficult to do, and by many considered the greatest receiver of all time. And there's been a lot of good ones over the years that way. But that was Jerry Rice in a nutshell, and it really was the opportunity. He went there and he could have played on a lot of different teams, but people didn't see him and coaches didn't know. And Jerry's an older guy like me, so that's what we had to deal with that way. But you get your due, Dave. I mean, you wanted to be a general manager, you have an opportunity now, and then going forward, when you have that on your resume, or if you decide to step to a different league or whatever you want to do with that experience, you can look back and say, hey, I was a general manager running a professional. I put the emphasis on professional entity, and that's a big deal, because those are the guys that get looked at when you talk about the NFL, or whether you're talking, maybe you decide to switch to a different sport. I mean, there's major league sports, all over. So you have opportunities to go in and work in the front office there. You would never have that opportunity, and football just doesn't afford it. And to Myles's point there, it doesn't matter if it's the XFL, the USFL, any of the other FLs. Everybody's tried to go head to head with the 800-pound gorilla, and it's not successful, because the guys that think they either played or think they know what they're doing aren't guys that know how to run a league. And I know Myles and I've thought that recently, because there's a couple other NFL players that are thinking about starting a league, and it's like they have no idea what's involved with the league. And when you talk about multiple entities, multiple teams, multiple cities and stuff, you got to take a guy like Myles that's been down that road and been doing it for more than 2 decades and stuff. But he is going to give an opportunity to guys like you, Dave, and you're going to give opportunities to other players, other people in the front office or on the field, or somebody that wants to get back into coaching, whatever it is. There's just a lot of opportunities in this league. Yes, it is a numbers game as well, because there can only be one general manager per franchise, one head coach, and on down the line that way, one position coach, et cetera, et cetera. But first person in is the way it works there, and you hope that you get your experience and you move on from there. So that's the big thing about the MFL, because as Lisa was alluding to, there are people out there that want to get this kind of experience that haven't been able to in the past, and here it is. It's in front of you. You got to grab the ring if you can.
Right. They're not talking all the time. Everybody know the glory, but they don't know the story behind this. You know what I mean? And as you said earlier, before I let Lisa get in, and I'm definitely giving you Dave, that's how Arizona State came down to recruit somebody up at Roosevelt High School. But when they looked at the film, they seen somebody else showing up. Yeah. And they like, who is that? And Roosevelt coach said, y'all don't know who he is? They say, no. He said, well, and that's how I got to go to Arizona State. And I don't lie and tell them about they never knew anything about me. They did when they watched the film, watched the guy that came to recruit for Roosevelt. They said, who was this on defense? Who was this doing all this? So that's just to say to you, it's not what you know, it's who you know, and you have to be in the right place, the right time. But as I'll get to you, David, quick. Lisa, we had a lot of girls that go into the NFL from our dance team. We had girls that go to the Washington team. We had girls that go to the Wizards. We had girls that go to the Ravens from our dance team, because our dance team was always that good. Because we know, and having Lisa here just icing on the case, because Lisa know exactly what I want. I don't have to put emphasis on so much, because I used to be there, with the dance team director stuff, because I know what I want. I know the look we needed. I know the professionalism that needed to take us to that next level. So that's why I can show you pictures and pictures of girls that was in the. Well, I sent you some, right, Lisa? The girl, that went to the NFL teams. Yeah. That's why I always say one thing about me. I always say documentation be conversation. And I know you had something you want to say, Dave.
Yes, I was going to speak to Miss Lisa about it. It's going to be a lot of ladies here that's going to be very excited to get the opportunity to dance again, because thinking about it, we only have the Memphis Grizzlies and like the University of Memphis, their dancers and cheerleaders. Other than that, there isn't anywhere else to dance, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be excited to get that opportunity to dance.
I know, and absolutely, because I know there's a lot of dance team and squads out there, but there's not enough where they can actually go and perform and be a part of an organization like this. So the MFL is, like you said, Keith, and Dr. Myles said, it's a progression. It's a progression for everyone. You may start out as a player and then eventually move up as to coach, and then eventually move up to GM. And the great thing is, for people who are looking for a franchise, this is something that's already there. You have it structured already. So you're not starting from scratch and having to write the whole game plan. You know what I mean? So it's a great opportunity. Everyone should be reaching out and taking advantage, especially, we're coming in now, just a few weeks away. We're going to be kicking off, and people need to get out there and get back to doing what they love. We're here, we're excited, and I can't wait. I'm really psyched.
Hopefully Marshall Lynch listening to this, Keith.
I know. I didn't want to say the beach name, but because we know that.
I have no problem with them, because it's good to have money, but money is like fast money go fast. So you better know what to do with it. So and not to knock nobody. I don't care if they come in. Now, I just like to let them know what really goes on with this. Because like I say, everybody know the glory behind something, but they don't know the, the glory, but what about the story behind it? No one talks about that. Keith, Lisa, and Dave, no one talks about that. Because as a many a day, if I had a lot of hair at one time. I started pulling at it, and it all came out because it was real long one time. But I want them to know that, you're going to fall a whole bunch of times, but you have to decide whether you're going to get up or not. And that's something I was going to do, because I always say, failure is not an option with me. And anybody know me will tell you that about me. Failure is not an option. That's like, Dave, Keith and Dave, Lisa, you go through that door, you can't go back through, they go backwards, or what their old warrior used to do. They come in on the ships, the Vikings, they burn the ships, because ain't no leaving. We got to do what we're going to do here. Ain't no retreating and getting back on the boats, because we done burned. That's our way out. That's gone. So in saying that, I want people, and if I sound like a broken record, I want them to really look at it, understand the significance of all this. You know what I mean? And I want people to know we're not trying to be nobody else. We're not comparing ourselves with nobody else. They who they are, we who we are. And that's something everybody tell you about the MFL. We never tried to be nothing else. So this professor, we're a developmental league. I tell them, man, we are a developmental league. And we want to make sure everybody understand that. And I don't want nobody to get it confused, because I surely will never try to be something that I'm not. And I tell people all the time, it's hard to be what you really want to be in life. It takes no effort to be a bum. You just don't do nothing, But I want to thank my guests for being on. Lisa, it's always a pleasure. Keith, Dave, I'm glad to have you guys on. You can contact the MFL. Our website is mflishere.com. You can reach us on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. You want all the social media. Yes, we 3.5 months out from the season. We will start June the 5th. Our combines are coming up. Our combines will be the 27th of March. Our combines, we're excited about the combine coming up. And, guys can go register right now, because this is happening, and then you got to wait around for it no more. So I want to thank you guys for being on today. And y'all have been watching another edition of Inside the MFL. I'll see you on Friday. Thank you.